Okay, students, today we're going to go through all the questions from days 1 and 2 this week. Today's video is going to be very long. So please make sure that you have done all your work before you listen to this presentation. Now, we'll be going through page 161, 162, 163, and 164 from My Pals Are Here workbook on word problems. Now, you have to understand that we're going to actually talk a lot about the Polya four-step process. Now, not many of you are familiar with this, but some of you have heard it before. If it's your first time, I think it's very good to know. This can really apply to a lot of things, not just mathematics, but a lot of problems in life where you just really have to do a lot of critical thinking. So the first step is to understand the problem. And usually when I tell my students to do this, the most important thing is to actually highlight the keywords and to see what the keywords are actually pointing towards. Think of it as like a clue or clues to solve a mystery, like you are a detective. Now, step two is to devise a plan and to translate. Now, in this case, this chapter, the one way to translate information from words into a picture is by drawing a model. So, step two over here to devise a plan. Actually, what it's trying to say is to draw the model. Now, step three is to carry out the plan. That means once you have drawn the model, you can actually go ahead and do the workings, the steps and finally look back. That means after you have done all your workings, you found all your answers, go and put the answers back into the model and see whether it fits the model, see whether all the information that has been given to you have been used. Okay, so we're going to try this with the 4 questions from the 4 pages. Okay, so we're going to first start by understanding the problem, step one. Okay, step one, understanding the problem. And by doing so, we have to actually highlight the keywords. Now you see over here, on the right side of the screen. Actually, in your worksheet, they already ask you to use the 4 steps. Some of you may not know what the 4 steps are, so I've already explained to you what the 4 steps are, but you may not know how to use it, so I'm going to show you through this video. Now, first step is to understand the problem. So let's look at this. Jenny saved $712. So there's this person called Jenny. She saved $712. Okay, she used 687 of her savings, $687 of her savings to buy a computer. Okay, so the first question we gotta do to ask ourselves is actually this 687, right? Where did it come from? Is this 687 separate from the 712, or did the 687 come from the 712? Okay, when you read this carefully, you realize that actually the 687 came out of the 712. Okay, can I say that again? The 687 came out of the 712. So if you think of it as a model, this is a part whole model where 712 is the given total. Okay, so I'm going to draw the model, and this is step two of the Polya process, which is to translate our information into a picture, into a diagram where we can easily understand. So this is a part whole model. I'm going to use a darker color. Okay, okay, the part whole model over here. Jenny saved $712. Okay, this is 712, the total. She used 687 to buy a computer. Okay, so how much did she have left after buying a computer? So you see, we have already made part A into a simple uh, diagram. We have basically translated the words from the question into a picture. Okay, so now we have already devised the plan. Now we see how we can solve this. So now we are carrying out the plan. We see that the given total is 712 and one of the given parts is 687. So let's just carry out the plan. That's step three, where we find the question mark. So actually, how much did Jenny have left after buying a computer? 712 minus 687. Okay, 712 minus 687. Now, although I'm going to give you the answers, you have to actually work it out yourself. So the answer is $25. Okay, so this is part A. Now for part B, Her mother gave her $250. How much money did Jenny have in the end? So again, whenever we start a new problem or we are unable to solve a problem, we have to go back to the four steps. So we have to really go back to understanding the problem. So mother gave her $250. So someone else gave her money. So in this case, it's a plus, it's an addition. Okay. So the question is, how much money did Jenny have in the end? So this in the end, you got to really read it very carefully. This is what we call by understanding a problem. In the end means after buying the computer. Okay. So you got to add it to your answer in part A. If you cannot get part A correct, I'm sorry that you cannot get the question correct. So over here, the mom gave her $250 apart from the $25. I'm actually going to draw a model. Okay, so we're going to translate the problem from numbers into words. Sorry, from numbers and words into a diagram. Okay, so here, this is what she had left in part A, and the mom gave her $250. Okay, so how much did she have in the end? There's a question mark over here. And all you have to do is to add the two numbers together, and you should get $275. Okay, so now we come to the part where we have to look back and interpret. Okay, so let's check. Let's check everything now. Have we used all the information? Okay, so I'm going to use a laser pointer. 712, yes, we have used it here. 687, yes, we have used it here, and we check. She saved 712. She used 687 of her savings. That means this 687 came out of the 712. Correct. See? 712, 687. So 687 came out of the 712. How much did Jenny have left after buying a computer? So this is part A. So we have checked already. This model is correct. Are the workings correct? 712 minus 687, you get $25. Okay, you have to actually check your workings here. Don't just take my word for it. Don't just copy, 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 because right now I'm doing a video, so I'm not going to do all the steps for you. You have to really work out the question yourself. Okay, another way to check, which I like to tell my students to do, is to go to the extent of taking the answer 25 and adding it to 687, and to find out whether you will get 712. This is another way to work backwards. Okay, so you've got to do this, try it yourself. And finally, for part B, $250. Okay, over here, we use the information. How much did she have in the end? We use the part A answer and we show the unknown total. So we have to check that all the information in the question has been used when we do the solution. Okay, let's move on. Okay, there are 268 cars, lorries, and motorcycles in a car park. There are three times as many cars as lorries, and there are 20 motorcycles. So again, highlight. There are 268 cars, lorries, and motorcycles. This is what we call a given total. There are three times as many cars as lorries. So ask yourself, understand the problem. Part step one, which one is more, cars or lorries? Cars, right? There are more cars than lorries. So to just give you an idea, it's good to do this. Cars more than lorries. Now the sign that I wrote that looks like a V that is toppled to the side. This sign over here you will learn in secondary school. This means more than, means that cars are more than lorries. Okay, so I'm just writing it down uh, to keep it simple. Okay, now there are 20 motorcycles. So right here, right, you can tell that you have three variables. So it's a comparison model. I repeat, there are three variables: cars, lorries, and motorcycles. Therefore, we have three variables. Okay. So now we've got to make sense of the question. We've got to use step two, which is to translate the problem and devise a plan. So let's just draw the model out. Okay, there are three times as many cars as lorries. Okay, can you extend the line? So this is 1 unit, remember, 1 unit each. And motorcycles, there are 20. Okay, so I'm just going to draw a small bar. We don't know how much Really it is. And then we label this very quickly, 20. And the given total, 268. Okay, we have used all the information. Let's check. 268, yes. 3 times, okay, hold on. Yes, we have used this. 3 times as many cars as lorries. That's right. Okay. 20 motorcycles. Yes. Okay. We have used up all the information, so we can proceed to work out the plan. Now, part A. How many cars and lorries are there? Take note, cars and lorries. Okay, so that means you got to find out this portion of the model. Okay, this portion, only this portion. So how are we going to do that? Well, we take the total, 268 minus the motorcycles only, and we should get 248. This is the total number of cars and lorries. Okay, now finally, let's move on. How many lorries are there? So this one you got to use the unitary method. So 4 units equals to 248 because cars and lorries have 4 units, right? So 4 units equals to 248, and 1 unit equals to 248 divided by 4. You have to work this out. Actually, if you use your mental sum, you will notice that 24 divided by 4 is actually 6, and 8 divided by 4 is actually 2. Okay, so you get 62. So there are 62 lorries. Okay, and again, you have to check your answer. I'm not going to do this part. You have to check your answer yourself by making sure that all the information has been put to the proper use, and you have actually worked it out without making any careless mistakes. So do step 4 yourself, the checking. Question number 3. Let's do the highlighting. 26 girls and 16 boys attended a party. Each child, remember, each child, so it doesn't matter whether you're a girl or boy. As long as you're a child, you receive 3 slices of cake. So don't be confused by the question. There are girls, there are boys. Doesn't matter. They are still children. So each child, whether you're a girl or boy, you receive 3 slices. Actually, that's a lot of cake, but okay, that's quite good. I'm sure there's other food, but 3 slices of cake seems a lot, but it's okay. It could be a nice cake. I also don't mind. If it's chocolate, it's nicer. Okay, sorry, I'm talking to myself. Anyway, so now the question, part A, is quite simple. How many children were there in the party? I'm not even going to draw a model for this. You're just going to take 26 plus 16 and just do some mental sum. You realize you get 42 children. Okay? Some of you may draw a part whole model. I don't think it's necessary, but sure, you can go ahead and draw the model. But please remember, if you make a careless mistake in part A, you will not be able to do the question correctly. Okay, so please, I know some of you are very confident, but don't be overconfident that you make a careless mistake. Okay, 26 plus 16, you can use mental sum, but just make sure that you check your answer again and again. Okay, how many slices of cake did the children receive altogether? Okay, I'm going to highlight this. All together, that means total. Okay, so we're going to draw a model. We can't draw 42 boxes, right? So let's try this. Okay, I'm going to draw this model before I explain it. Okay, so right here, because I can't draw 42 boxes, I mean I can, but it's going to take a while, and I don't encourage you to do it. I actually draw this dot dot here to show that, in between there are some more boxes, but I'm not going to draw it. So what you can do is to show that, each box or each child gets 3 slices of cake. You see, each box represents one child, and over here there are 42 children. You see what I just did? So I showed that there are 42 children. Now, what is a child in this case? This box represents a child. Okay, each box represents a child. Like, think of it as like a group. Okay, each box represents a group, where in each group there are 3 slices of cake. Okay, so over here, now you can see that it's just 42 times 3. You can use mental sum because 2 times 3 is 6, 4 times 3 is 12. So there are 126 cakes altogether. Okay, let's move on. Last question. Mrs. Tang spent Okay, I'm going to highlight now. Mrs. Tang spent $640 on a pair of shoes. That's a very expensive pair of shoes. Oh, sorry. And a dress. Okay, so, okay, still expensive, but okay, at least it's not a pair of shoes alone. So 640 pairs of shoe on a pair of shoes and a dress. So she bought two things for $640. The pair of shoes cost $80 less than the dress. So ask yourself this, which has more? Okay, the dress costs more than the shoes. Okay, so now you can start to draw a simple model before we go to read the last line. Okay, so dress is the longer bar, shoes is the shorter bar. Okay, so okay, this part you have to use a ruler and draw a dotted line like this and it must really go all the way to the end of the smaller bar. You have to really start from here and go all the way down to the end of the bar. Okay, I insist. Okay, so the dress is here, the shoes is here. Okay, this part is $80. Okay, I always like to label outside, it's clearer. Okay, and this is a given total. This is something you have done before. Actually, this is just a comparison model with a given total and given difference. Okay, so let's check our information. Did we put all the information correctly? 640 on a pair of shoes and dress. Yes, 640 dress and shoes. Shoes cost $80 less than the dress. Shoes is smaller, shorter bar. Dress is longer bar. $80. Correct. How much did Mrs. Tang spend on the shoes? Okay, so this one is a given total and given difference. So first you get rid of the difference. 640 minus 80. Okay, you have to work it out yourself. Okay, please do your working. Okay, you should be able to get $560. Okay, so this one is, now what is this $560? Think of it as this part over here and this part over here. Okay, I put 1 unit for each of them because they are the same. Okay, take note, the 1 unit over here starts from here and ends here. So these two bars over here, you see how I circle this part is the same as this part over here. Okay, so 2 units equals to $560. So 1 unit equals to 560 divided by 2. Again, you have to do the working yourself, but you should get $280. And 1 unit is the shoes, right? So $280 is the answer. Thank you.